Well, I think everyone needs a bit of cheering up at the moment, so I hope that perked everyone up over the last week. A lot happens in crypto in a day, right? Never mind a week. So, yeah, as we've seen a big crash in crypto. Jesse thought he'd get the party started with a bit of music to bring the energy up. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. What do you think so far about this last week? We've seen a lot of action downwards.
It's kind of it's interesting, right? Because there's so much positive talk from like government entities. You know, Trump's talking about restricting the SEC, making the SEC go through the folks that he hired before they pursue cases and stuff and such. And nobody cares. Right, it's almost like nobody cares. Like ETH is going down, Pulse Chain's going down, nothing's moving. Right, none of that is like an aha moment where everyone races off and decides to go buy more. I think I said this last week. I think just so much of it's just priced in. People assumed after ETH and Bitcoin went down a ton in the bear market, they thought, okay, now's my opportunity to get in. So all the biggest players have already bought back in, right? So who are we waiting for? Are we waiting for the computer illiterate people who don't know how to get into crypto? Are we waiting for the grandmas who don't know how to get into crypto? Who are we waiting for? Who do you know at your in your daily lives, the people you surround yourself with, that are begging you to teach them how to get into crypto? Do these people exist? Like in the big institutions, it seems like they already dove in during like the last bear market. So like I'm not trying to burst anyone's bubble, but it's like so many people were talking during that bear market. Oh, look at this cycle. It's going to do the same thing that it does every cycle. Every 4 years, Bitcoin goes down a lot and then it goes back up again because of the halving. And like they had everyone on this big hype train. So it's almost, to me, it just feels like everyone already got in. And that's one reason why, like, I hate speculating when everybody's saying, oh, it's going to go up. I tend to just kind of drown that out personally. Because you never really know what anything's going to do. You could have everyone saying it's going to go up and it goes down. You could have everyone saying it's going to go down and it goes up. You could have everyone saying it's going to go up and it does go up. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to it. So for me, the safe plays are like the yield bearing stuff. So if you just like simply purchase an asset that you like, whether that's Pulse or Bitcoin or ETH or whatever it is, and then you just hold it. Don't even care about the price, but you sure better stake it somewhere safe at least, like your keys, your coins, where you can at least earn. And if it does go down, you've offset those losses by the earnings you've made from earning all sorts of fees, right? That's why we built the core. That's why we have like these liquidity forks where people can stake and earn all sorts of fees. And it's also why protocols such as Vouch exist. so people can stake their pulse and they can get more pulse from all the transaction fees on the chain, from the validator fees and stuff. People, you know, should be doing these things to offset the possibility of something going down. And if it goes up, but you still hold those assets, they're just staked. So you still enjoy the benefit of it going up, right? But you also enjoy some benefits even if these things go down.
I think it takes a more of an open mind, right? A lot of people, including myself, probably you at the beginning, got into crypto because it was about number go up. But as you get further down the rabbit hole, I think looking at all these options, and like you just talked about, mentioning a few, right? We've got the two liquidity forks, Flex, Hex, Flex for Hex and for PLSX, where you can obviously take a loan, but you can also stability provide or stake that token. You've got the Vouch protocol from Jexo we had on before, where you can stake your PLS. We've got the core where you can stake Watt and you can liquidity provide. So you have all these options on Pulse Chain, but it's about people being more open-minded. I know that we should, on paper, be in a bull market, right? Because 2021 was bull market started around this time, right? So that's kind of like 4 years to the day. It's weird though. There is kind of like mixed signals because we've had the tariffs from Trump, which obviously have scared the markets, right? But then we've also got reports that Trump's bought how much? 17K of ETH?
Yeah, quite a lot, right? And he wants that investment to go up as well. But, you know, I would always encourage people not to put all their eggs into one person's choices, right? So in the example of Trump, I'm going to buy ETH or I'm going to buy a ton of crypto because Trump bought it. Well, the reality is Trump's made a lot of bad investment choices throughout his life. He's gone bankrupt a ton of times, lost properties. Okay. Just because he buys something, crypto, doesn't mean that crypto is going to succeed or that he even has the power to make it go up in price, right? So you have to analyze these things yourself and don't put all your eggs into, Trump bought it, so it must be going up later, right? The same with Pulse Chain. All the people who assume that one guy like Richard or something is going to pump the chain, you know, if that happens, great. But like, it's almost like, get that out of your mind. Get that out of your mind. It hasn't happened. Or even if he bought some at, 2 years ago, like there's no evidence that he would ever do that again. And there's no precedent. There's nothing saying he would ever have to do that or even want or desire to do that for anybody else. You know, I think there's always positive things that he can do for the chain, continue building new protocols, a meme coin launch platform. Okay, cool. He's trying to bring eyes to Pulse Chain through different means, through the tweets that he makes, through some platforms that he's built, through talking about those platforms that he's built, at least through X. But where in any of that equals he's going to use his own money and pump the chain? It doesn't, right? And everywhere I go, whether it's in Telegram or on X, there's always tons of people who assume he's just going to reach into his own pockets and he's going to pump Pulse Chain, or that everything's 4D chess and he's trying to weed people out of Pulse Chain and make the price go down a whole lot so there's only a few people left, so then he can pump the chain and give all that money to those few people. No, that's nonsense. Hex was a different game, right? It was kind of, I don't want to get too much into it here, but it was really like a liquidity providing process, I feel, for Richard. You know, he never sold Hex. I think he liquidity provided a lot. He earned a lot of fees. There were certainly benefits for him being an LP guy for Hex. The game has changed for Pulse Chain. And there's nothing anywhere that says, hey, we sacrificed, and he's going to give all that money right back to the few who remain after it dumps a lot, right? That's just crazy talk, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like anything in life, it's some things, if they come along right, they're the sprinkles on the top of the cake, right? It's the icing on the cake. But if you're just waiting for that and hoping for that Hail Mary and not doing the work, which is, again, not financial advice, everyone needs to do their own research, find assets they think have long-term potential. And then, like you said, on top of holding good assets, learning how to get those assets working for you, even if it's not okay. We all want 100%, a 20%, 1,000% X, right, on our asset. But if you can get 10% or 9% or 7% on your stable coins, that's still much more than you'd ever get in legacy finance, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? You know what else? Think about all the narratives that you're being told. Let me give an example. Can we name any coins in history that had a burn mechanism that directly made the price go up because it had a burn mechanism? And keep in mind, last cycle, last bull market, nearly all of those crazy launches over on Binance were advertising crazy burn mechanisms, right? Did any of them go up? No, right? That did not make the price go up, right? So, like, think when you're being told something, hey, look at this cool thing, it's got a burn. Look at this cool thing, it does this or does that. Really think, is that how it actually works? The fact that coins burn themselves out of existence, does that actually mean the supply? Sure, the supply is thinner for the community, but does that mean that the demand goes up? No, the demand doesn't go up because a burn happens. Like you said, you got to still put in the work. You still have to go get new people to want to use the chain. You could burn 99% of the supply of something. If you don't have people actively coming into the chain, brand new people, and buying that thing, the price still goes down regardless of the burn. You have to have the new money flowing in, right? And that's the biggest piece everyone's missing. Like, I don't think people are necessarily doing the work. There's so many people that sit back and they gripe and complain. There's a lot of people that sit back and they just pray and hope. They spend a lot of time on X, giving opinions about why things aren't going the way that they want it to go. But they don't spend any of that time, the endless hours they spend on X, going into other communities trying to tell people about Pulse Chain. Right? And that's the biggest piece that's missing. We're not on exchanges, so we don't get that visibility. How can we get visibility? You go out to the other communities and you tell people about Pulse Chain. You go into those Telegram rooms, there's thousands of them, where they allow AMA sessions, right? And sometimes they ask for like, 50 or $100, of ETH or something to give out to their community in like contests or whatever. And oftentimes those little Telegram rooms, they won't even, you can even convince them not to accept, like, that you're not going to do that. But like, everybody in the community should be going into all those crazy little Telegram rooms where people want to learn about new things and then giving a pitch. It doesn't even have to be your protocol. Look, I didn't build Vouch. And I may be a founder of POWERCITY, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to go into another community and tell people about all the things we built and even mention Vouch or mention something else that I like. And you don't have to be a founder. You could be a regular community member, make your way into all those crazy Telegram rooms with those thousands of people just dying to hear about new things, and go in there and give your pitch about the cool stuff on Pulse Chain. Everybody should be doing that. We're so focused on our own community and just sticking to the people that we know, like a band of like a cult, right? We shouldn't be like a little cult that put a fence up around our property and nobody can come in. We should be more like missionaries going out into the world telling people about the goodness of Pulse Chain. And I don't think that's happening enough.
I think that's a great point. And also doing it in a good way, right? Not screaming at someone because they don't hold the same coin as you, but educating people. Because I've got a friend who did very well in Bitcoin, a few years ago. And he actually pretty much got out of crypto completely, is now more in ETFs and stocks. He's getting back into crypto, and he was like, asking me for some suggestions. And I said, well, what I hold is a bit niche compared to most people. And he's like, well, I like niche. Like, how do I buy it? And I told him, and even though he's a crypto guy before, back in 2019 to 2020. He's like, oh, bridges and this and that, right? So you can't just go in there and scream at people. And then also there's, like you said, we're not even on main exchanges yet, right? So it's not easy for them to buy. So you have to go in there and be open, be willing to like embrace people from different communities and then show them different ways. You like Portal X Swap, like using the Pulse Chain bridge, and not just talking about our stuff. Because like you said, Jesse, even though we've built some great stuff, we know it's great utility for Pulse Chain, we're happy to talk about Vouch, Proteus, Liquid Loans, other protocols that are also bringing value to the chain. So I think that's a great point. Go out there and not just scream at people for not holding the same coin as you and not being as clever as you because they haven't got the same investments, but also talking about all the good stuff on Pulse Chain and then educating people to get in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And look, I think memes are interesting. You'll never really hear me like shilling memes because 99 out of 100 or even a higher percentage just fail. They all do that. They really all do the same thing. It's really like just which one is going to get some network effect and everyone's going to jump on the bandwagon, right? So you won't really hear me talk about those because it's like too risky to talk about them. But I will talk about protocols that do things, that have mechanisms that allow you to stake, that have mechanisms that allow you to mint, make stable coins, liquidity provide, to do things. And I'll tell people how those protocols work and why they're healthy for a chain. So anybody in the community who thinks that I hate memes, I don't hate memes. I just personally don't want to. I'd rather talk about protocols that do things, for Pulse Chain.
And obviously that's reflected as you being a founder of PowerCity. That's reflected in the protocols that we've built. As you can see, PowerCity Core, where you can stake your Watt tokens, Portal X Swap, how you can get into any, not just Pulse Chain, but over 60 blockchains at the time of filming, Earn and Flex protocol, and Amplify, and Pixel Park's coming. So all these protocols bring utility. There's all, apart from Portal X Swap, all of these protocols have ways where you can stake, stability provide, etc., and make yield. We do have Pixel Park coming down the pipe at some point, right? It's in the last stages of development. Can we talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's an audit for the second time. Not that the first one failed, but we realized with the plethora of other NFT marketplaces, 6 months, a year ago or so, that we just wanted to go back to the drawing board and make it way more unique than anything else out there. We feel it was actually pretty unique in its first form, but we said, you know what? Let's make it better. Let's make a way for people to easily create NFTs, easily list them and make collections, easily be able to search and view different collections and artists and stuff. And we went back to the drawing board and we said, let's do this over again, and let's do it better than anything we've ever seen. And so we've spent quite a bit of time doing that. And of course, had to go back to an audit a second time because of everything we built, right? So that's the stage that it's in now. At some point, hopefully in the next month or two, we'll be able to release that to the community so the community can play with that if they want to.
Awesome. But that's still not to forget that we have 5 working dApps at the moment, and Pixel Park will be our 6th when that is complete, but going through audit at the moment.
Well, we have the safe as well, remember? So if you count
that, sorry, talk about that a bit.
Yeah, so we have a multi-signature safe for people who want to secure their crypto that way. Safe.powercity.io. It's Gnosis, essentially. It's the Gnosis contracts. We built a front end that interacts with those contracts. And if that's how you want to store your crypto, it's free to use. And we think it's cool. We needed to use it for certain things. So we thought, why not open it up to the community?
Okay, so multiple dApps, multiple utility. Yeah, it's up and down in crypto. We know, obviously, it's been down the last week. But the good thing is whether you're holding any of these, blue chips on Pulse Chain, Pulse Chain, PLS, PLSX, Hex, all these things go up and down as well. They follow the markets, but they've stood the test of time, and they've got good liquidity, and they've got this group of people that believe in it. But like you said, Jesse, it's about really getting out there and educating people on the system, and yeah, building bridges, right?
Yeah, building bridges, making connections, talking to people.
Before we go, what do you think of Eric Trump saying buy some ETH? In his opinion, it's a good buy.
It feels like the classic, oh, I'm down a lot. Let me see if I can use my clout to get other people to buy. There's nothing, he doesn't know any secrets. Like, if only you knew what I knew. Like, there's nothing like that. He just wants to see his own investment go up, as we all do. ETH goes up, we all win.
I think it's positive, though. You have the president's son talking about ETH. You have the president's buying a lot of ETH.
Yeah, kind of. So, like, I always want to look at the flip side to that, though. At the point that happens, you have to ask yourself: is everybody already in? When you have the president and the nun at the local monastery and the person at the grocery store behind the register, when all these people are already talking about ETH, then you have to scratch your head and you have to say, oh, everybody's already in. Except the people who are computer illiterate or the grandmas, right? So, I don't know. The best time to get an ETH was back when it dipped to,
17 cents.
Yeah, exactly. And when nobody was talking about it. The best time to get into anything is when nobody's talking about it. So maybe you can apply that to Pulse Chain. Nobody outside of
everyone's talking about it. I mean, what I'm saying is Eric Trump is talking about it, but it's not like I'm not getting in Ubers and Uber drivers asking me how to buy crypto, right? I think that's when we know that we've hit a top. Of course, everyone's got their own opinions. I was having lunch with another friend who's a Bitcoin maxi. Well, he's a friend of a friend. He's a Bitcoin maxi, but he's a nice guy. And he was telling me, I was like, yeah, and we haven't seen that blow off top yet. And I'm, hopefully we can see 200, 250K Bitcoin. He's like, oh, I'm expecting 1 million, 250. I'd be disappointed. And I'm thinking, good luck. But, we've all got our set points. But one thing we can agree on, I think, is when, your Uber driver's asking you how to buy Bitcoin, your grandma's asking you how to buy Bitcoin, and you've been burnt in the last bull market, that's when it's time to probably sell, when we've hit the top. And we're not there yet. So let's hold on to that hope. What do you think?
Let's see what happens. I mean, there's so much positive talk. I'm just always very careful, right? The best investors in the world always say, when everybody is buying, that's when you should be selling. When everybody's selling, that's when you should be buying. When everybody's talking and thinking something can only go up from here, that's when they go down. Like, you just have to be careful. That's all. And the most careful thing you could do is just hold the things you like and then find ways to stake them. We have built some beautiful protocols that allow you to do just that, with Earn Protocol, Flex Protocol, the Core, and then some of our friends out there like Vouch, for example, they have some things that allow you to do these same things. Just hold what you like, stake it, make money no matter what the market does.
A great way to sign off. Always good to chop it up with you. Tomorrow is a new day, so we'll see what the markets say then. Cheers, man.
All right.
Thanks for watching, guys. And for any of our 6 live dApps, you can find the correct links in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
Ecosystem.